here we fuck on get going.
Oh, fuck my life.
Okay, welcome everybody. I can now call the registrars for the minutes of the last public business meeting here.
An ordinary public business meeting of the University Philosophical Society was held on Thursday, 11th of February, with President Yeezy in the chair. Thanks again, everyone, for coming to tonight's debate. We hope it will make you tingle, or at the very least, you'll leave being slightly aware of what happened, which is more than what can be said for last week's debate, which was this house has some form of general feeling about cheap oil. We haven't been so excited about a debate since the government tax intervention last year.
The motion this week is capital spicy, with the fractures, each one of them more beautiful than the last codifier talking about you, and shows some serious shade on the all master Jesus. Orla is especially hot and heavy after being held against her will on the side of the opposition by Manus D. The G stands for D. Which looks for and sort of opposition that is self-proclaimed greatest artist of all time, who believes that angels are watching him from the other side, and his music is more liberating than the freedom of apartheid.
So, don't know much about Fruity. Apparently, he left Galway halfway through the open because he got bored. But, he's fourth off tonight, so let's hope he sticks around. Elizabeth asked him if he had any material that he could roast him with, and he said no, cocky much. On Valentine's Day, he shared a Hosier video on his Facebook page, but clearly he's a romantic player, and the other speakers can and should use this against him.
Thanksgiving, really close to my heart. He got very weirdly sexual at the Galway Open during a game of Never Have I Ever asked if anyone had ever ejaculated on anybody's face. No one heard Fitzgibbon's advances, but they just decided to politely ignore them. Either way, I'm really glad that they went unacknowledged. Toda, let's get it out of the way. Toda has been scoring math and music for a while now. We made a joke about it, but after much deliberation, we decided it would just be a replays in sloppy attempt at humor, which coincidentally.
Don't even need the figure.
Exact adjectives Toda used to describe Matthew's shifting technique.
Because according to our research, Toda can read exceptionally well, can sing some, and is a great swimmer. And it seems that Matthew Mealing has been established as the resident hottie of the film, which we feel is great to say the least. So the freshers can bring it up to the table here with specimens as fine as Harry Higgins, and I just have to say that Harry literally looks like he's been carried to the proportions of Michelangelo's David. And an absolute kid of despair. Andrew Galway wants the general story with you, and that's genuinely the most valid question I've ever heard. What is his story? Does he even have a story to tell? Hopefully we'll find out more about this dark roast tonight. Now, William Edershaw, we don't know him very well, but a quick lurk on his Facebook page shows that he works at European Youth Parliament. How distinguished. Long time. He's live, get on snapping, so you can update this, please. He has 746 Facebook friends, but if we place his cards right tonight, he's only at 748 Alice Whelan is here tonight. She's a bit of an enigma, but after some careful snooping through all of her recent Facebook posts, it's become clear that her pastimes including getting high gas, having birthdays, and shopping in TK Maxx. This is a collection of attributes that Elizabeth and I could only ever hope to achieve.
Last but not least is Neve Herbert, and after racking our brains for possible things to say about her, we just couldn't come up with anything. Neve is just too nice, too kind of a soul. Even Sorcia couldn't think of anything bitchy or mean to say, which is nice. We decided just to roast ourselves instead, just out of fucking respect to Neve.
So Elizabeth and I are just two humble, unassuming, yet beautiful girls from the north side and from wherever Elizabeth lives. And we met in 1996, and we developed our agenda to take the field down from the inside. It all started at the women's open final, where we proudly took 2 seats like right there in the front row of the council, which were definitely not meant for us. And basically we forced Queen Ludovine to sit on the actual floor, and like that's the Ludovine, like, or as she prefers to be called by her closest pals, Lady Rat. And like how does that even we're so not a Ludovine's level, we can't even see her level. And I don't think Ludovine has ever even heard of the concept of the floor before, because that was the first time she ever had to sit on one.
The reality is, Russia and I are just 2 absolute rats who don't really understand this whole fail of business. Who could forget the time classic Peter Sorsha here was an hour early for her maiden time and walked in on the council getting photos with some old, important UN-style man? Or the time I was the only person who showed up to my maiden jam and I just watched the council have their own personal banter for about 10 minutes before I quietly left. Look how excited all these freshers are tonight, full of anticipation of what's to come from speaking in the chamber debate. I don't know if you know this, but Sorsha and I are old hardened pros at the debating game. Sorry. Maybe you remember us from a little thing called the fucking Maidens Final / the goddamn Kardashian debate. Yeah, that's us. We're small in terms of our future works for the field.
Well, like my only real aim is to just somehow take enough like elocution and speaking lessons to one day have my voice sound as husky attractive as Rachel O'Brien's. Hear your voice for a second, it's like Lana Del Rey and like Johnny Cash had a love child and named with Rachel O'Brien's voice. The only thing Elizabeth wants from the field is to one day become just like a small fraction as bland as Mike Dolan. But like that is something we can all aspire to. I guess in the same way that Manus is like the weird uncle of Phil, like Liz and I want to just be the red wine aunties, like just often inappropriate, mostly tipsy and always unwanted.
Jokes aside, though, Manus is a really great guy. I mean, we're being no further business.
True and accurate representation of the last public system. There being none? Okay, so welcome everybody to the exec debate. The motion for the House is this House supports Yeezy 2020. This debate, if you aren't aware, has been organised almost entirely by the freshers. So first and foremost, I think a big round of applause is due for all those people. Speeches are going to be 7 minutes in length, but it's going to be protected time. After the first minute of the speech, you'll hear a bell, which is not actually here. Stop it. Kind of sounds like that. I'm sure we'll get a bell in the meantime. And then after 6 minutes, you'll hear, in this time, that means POIs can be offered. So if you want to offer a point of introduction, you stand up and you say, sir, madam, or you say, point of information, or you say, and then if you're taken, that means that you can offer a brief, like 10-second, 15-second introduction. And if you're not taken, which can sometimes be, no thank you, it can sometimes just kind of be like that, you sit down and you get some stuff. And then after 6 minutes, you'll hear another bell that sounds like this, meaning that you're now again in protected time. And then at 7 minutes, you'll hear a double bell that sounds like this, meaning that you should start wrapping up your speech, and then after about 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you can start banging on the table repeatedly. Okay, so on top of that, we have oratory returns that everyone on their seat should have. That has all the speakers, so if you want to give them like a rating out of, I can't remember what the scale is. The scale is mentioned in the back, and that's used to decide who gets the medal for oratory. And then you can hand these to Alice and Cleva at the end. More importantly, we're going to be doing text-ins because we all love text-ins. So get out your phones. If you are interested in giving a brief little, hopefully funny text on like recapping what the speaker said, my number is 087-793-0796. Whoever texted in the funniest thing, the funniest 2 speeches, I'll buy them a drink in Whelan's afterwards. So, the speakers for tonight. In first proposition, we have Hugh Fitzgibbon, junior freshman law. Junior freshman European studies.
That was great speaking lessons.
Junior freshman law. Final proposition speaker, we have William Heddershaw, junior In case anyone doesn't know, this is the bell sound. Sounds like a point. You'll come hear about it. Okay, so there's been no further business. I'd now like to call on Peter Timmons, the open case of property. So Hugh, as this is your first time speaking in the chamber, you're affording what's called maiden's rights. So if you retain your maiden's rights, that means that no point of information can be offered at any time during your speech. If you waive them, the whole crowd will be waive. Would you like to waive them?
Yeah. Here we fook on gecko. So on the outset, disclaimer, I am very white. So honorable members of the Phil, Mr. Stephan, and Harry Higgins. I had to Google what Yeezy is, so please be gentle. Take note, I will avoid using the word Yeezy as I don't know how to pronounce it. I first thought people were saying Yeezy 2020, and I was like, where the fuck is the prop? But I do know three things about Mr. Kanye West. Number one, he's a rapper. But to be honest, I don't do rap. I don't get it. They talk too fast. They talk about things that I just don't get, like crack and pussy slaying. I mean, do I look like a cork? Sorry, no, not cork. A coke snorting pussy slay. Do I look like Mark Finn? But number two, I know he's married to Kim Kardashian, and therefore he doesn't discriminate between tits and ass. He likes them both equally, yes, equality. And number three, he would be a great president of the United States of America, and he would make this country, my fucking shit, he would make this country great again. Sound familiar? God, this is a train wreck. Anyway, so I have one point, and that is that a West Kardashian White House would be, well, not very white to begin with, but it would be fabulous. I mean, better than a nuding GMB anyway.
Hugh, I'm gonna let you finish, but a nuding GMB would be the best GMB of all time.
Are you code of fire? I don't think so. Anyway, people say that Kanye is the most self-absorbed and egotistical man in the world, but that's incorrect. Man is Genesis. And oft may say that Kanye is unsuitable because he does drugs and he raps and he fucks bitches. But that don't kill me. It only makes me stronger. I know fucking know about that song. But Kanye is a great guy, and this is coming from a man who only listens to the Rihanna part for 4 or 5 seconds. I mean, let's take a look at his tweets and we'll get an insight into his manifesto. Excuse me, I have a prop for this. All I need is a pair of Timberlands and I'm Kanye. My number one enemy has been my ego. There is only one throne, and that's God's. So we can easily see that he can see his faults, and he has the ability to see when he's wrong. That's more than can be said for Clinton, hashtag Monica Lewinsky. Education puts Americans into debt before they even get a chance to get started. He sees the importance of education.
Kanye sees art, creativity, and the nurturing of talent at pivotal points of being a president. What a hashtag lad. And I'm going to take these dark before I start feeling like Claire new one. But in relation to foreign policy, Kanye can definitely handle the Gaza Strip because he knows all about the G-spot. Oh, sorry. I just got a tweet from my bro Kanye. Y'all should throw some dollar bill in my bro Hughes bucket, who's doing the Camino for SVP Zambia, supporting educational projects, hashtag dope, hashtag altruism, so we could all go donate. And support poor African children. But like, the President of the United States is very much, put money in it. The President of the US is very much a figurehead and a source of national pride. And we can't relate to that here in Ireland, as if we were to look to Michael D, if anything, all we get is a pain in our neck. But what Kanye brings to the White House is this sort of confidence that is so unusual in modern politics. He recognizes the crippling self-hate that acts as a scourge on Western society today. How many times have any of us in this room put ourselves down, told ourselves we're not good enough, and felt ashamed for having the audacity to believe in ourselves? Okay, Harry Higgins, you probably don't get what that feels like. But I fucking do. I may have done very little research into this debate, but it is strikingly clear that Kanye makes no apology for being who he is, for loving Tresh. I'm going to put this out there now. I'm not like Chris Costigan. I won't finish early. But it is strikingly clear he makes no apology. I said that. He calls himself a god. And you know what? Kanye has empowered me to believe that I too am a god. So fuck all of you and the haters on off. Kanye is love, Kanye is life, and Kanye would be a beacon of hope and light in this world full of fear, darkness, and despair. You may say that's a tad melodramatic, but whatever. Besides, it's not like I'm suggesting we put him in the Oval Office on his own. We obviously provide with exceptional handlers who are cool, competent, and sexy. Yes, Hugh Guidera would make a great choice. But turning our attention away from Pres West and his totally incredible policies, hey, they're better than Stephen Carey's policies for the SU. Let's talk about Kim as First Lady, okay? So she would often tell us she's unqualified and unsuitable, but I disagree. With her shades and stilettos on, she would drag the office of the First Lady into the 21st century. Let's not beat about the bush. The office of the First Lady is as outdated as Ciara O'Leary's fashion sense. Which is something that would rival the outfits of Maggie Smith and Dan Savage. Stop. The First Lady is wheeled out for photo ops, and whenever she speaks at a turn, she's firmly put back on her leash. And the only time you see Kim Kardashian on a leash is, well, Pornhub. But I'm just gonna move on a bit. So all I want to say is Kim Kardashian, she'd go out there, she'd wear those clothes, she'd show off her assets, she'd show us her tits and the ass, ignore the misogyny. She would say what she wants, she'd do what she thinks. And I could go on about female empowerment, but this chamber has seen too much on that in recent times. See any speech given by Hannah Beresford or Michael Coleman. But Kim Kardashian and Kanye West would, like Keira McNulty, unlock the SU, they'd unlock the White House. So you've probably noticed that I know very little about Kimye, but like at the end of the day, Kanye's child will always remind us of America's location north and to the west. So although I probably won't vote for Kanye in 2020, I urge you all to do so. Thank you.
Made me sick. Almost as sick as Cormac Keenan's new sick face. Get a round of applause. I'd like now to call upon Andrew Connolly to open the case for the opposition. Here. team, you don't have to take the eyes. If you wave them, you're going to hear a huge round of applause. Would you like to speak?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, East and West Coast rappers, Bloods and Crips, and most controversially of all, members of the Phil and the Beast. We in the opposition believe Kanye West should not run for president of the United States in 2020. I should preface this by pointing out that I'm currently sicker than most of the songs in Kanye's new album, The Life of Pablo, so please be kind. I'd apologize to people at the back, but we clearly weren't popular enough to get those. So, I have a few points regarding the great and powerful Kanye's election. First is getting the nomination. What party will he run under? Like, let's not forget, he's going to be running against an incumbent President Trump after fixing the economy, sorting out Wall Street, building a 20-foot high wall across the Mexican border. And probably building a wall around Jeb Bush's house just for a laugh. President Trump will have succeeded in making America great again in only 4 short years. Unless, of course, Trump decides he doesn't want to go for re-election, in which case Kanye still wouldn't have a chance. I want everyone to picture Yeezy walking up to the Republican High Council, because, you know, I kind of picture them basically being the Illuminati with a big, like, mountain layer that shoots fire every time you mention Obama's name, or the fact that you can no longer own people in the US. I want you to picture Kanye going up and telling them that no one represents them better than a Detroit-born rapper. I mean, like, there is a line from one of his new songs, "Father stretched these hands," and I quote here, "Now, if I fuck this model, and she bleached her asshole, and I get bleach on my t-shirt, I'ma look like an asshole." Now, I want you to picture Mitt Romney, Ted Cruz, or Marco Rubio saying that. Hear, hear. I can't picture this really winning over that many Southern Baptists, can you? So what about the Democratic nomination? Well, for one thing, his last name isn't Clinton, so, you know, he's kind of already at a loss. Secondly, they've already done the racially diverse thing by having 2 black presidents in office. And yes, I did say 2. For more information on how Bill Clinton counts, I refer you to Manus Dennison. In jokes. Thirdly, if he's going to be running against Hillary, because you know she'll be involved in some way, despite being like 90 years old or something, then Kanye may not make it to 2020. I mean, I don't think Hillary's really above organising little accidents for people. Seriously, like, she actually genuinely scares me. And can you guys picture Kanye in a presidential debate? I mean, we get some fantastic quotes, something in the lines of, "My greatest pain in life is that I'll never be able to see myself perform." I guess it'll be manageable, as long as Taylor Swift isn't also running for the nomination, but you never know. Something we can't leave out is Kanye's Twitter rampage. Even George W. Bush once stooped so low as to ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion. Or as Donald Trump would put it, 1,000 small loans. Do you expect Americans to want to vote for a guy who will simply add $53 million to the national deficit? And now for my second point. Now this one's a bit more selfish, because you see, unlike you here, I'm a pretty big Yeezy fan. You know that because I'm a white middle-class teen, and I'm sure I'm his target audience. I'd be mad as hell if I couldn't get any new stuff for him for 4 whole years. I don't want to see him working with Congress. I want to see him working with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. That would be so much better. It's great and all being the Tupac of the White House, but not at the cost of being the Tupac of our pockets. I know, that's what they're proposing. Now, he'd be so busy running for office and doing presidential things that he won't have time to drop a new graduation or another My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. We might get a few rhyming State of the Union addresses set to a Miles Davis sample, but that's nowhere near enough. We on the opposition believe to bask in the glory of a beloved Yeezy. I want to see him putting out records like Jack Carney hands out 3 points on a night out. And if he should fail in his nomination, he risks being a laughingstock. I don't want to see Kanye standing on stage in Madison Square Gardens asking the crowd to please clap. Now for my final point. I will also be speaking about Kim Kardashian here, unfortunately. If somehow Kanye West became the 46th president of the United States, we have to wonder who will be walking into the White House army. As you said, it will be Kim Kardashian. Hashtag scenes doesn't even begin to cover it. There have been several notable first ladies: Eleanor Roosevelt, Nancy Reagan, Hillary Clinton / Monica Lewinsky, to name but a few. In most cases, these are women of integrity, women of intelligence, and women of purpose. Kim would be the first lady to have a sex tape, or at least the first my knowledge. I mean,
Women.
I mean, can you really picture the great, powerful China down to the US when they can Google the president's wife going down on Ray J? In fact, I can see Kim being a massive hindrance to the Yeezy 2020 campaign. I mean, I wouldn't vote for the woman who's behind Kimojis, the single greatest attack. Oh, my laptop's turned off. The single greatest attack on human sense since the last time Tigran Jones posted or commented on the Phil Fresher's Facebook page. Which one I watched was probably about 3 minutes ago. I mean, I simply can't see the two of them working together in the White House. It'd be weird watching the First Lady trying to break the internet again with new children's health reforms or fun new ways of getting the youth involved in politics. And I mean, how close are Kim and Kanye? I mean, she recently stated she couldn't handle his Twitter outbursts any longer. But I personally ascribe to the fact that the First Lady is the only reason the president doesn't go mad with power, because she'll leave his sorry ass. If Kim has no control over Kanye, then we'd be screwed. I'd much rather have Kim herself become president. I mean, she's obviously an economic genius. I mean, how many people have won the Nobel Prize for Economics? Then tell me how many of them turned a sex tape into a fortune worth $120 million. Now, as I've outlined clearly, Kanye's bid for the presidency in 2020 is simply unsupportable. He simply wouldn't get elected, as great as he is as a rapper, and him not dropping new material on the regular would be a travesty. As well, I can't picture Kim and Kanye being quite the same power couple when they live in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Now, I'm not saying I don't like Yeezy, because that is the complete opposite. As I said, I'm a huge fan, but I just wouldn't want to see him turn his back on us, forgetting his name in history, but it's something he has already earned. Long live Yeezy, and I beg you to oppose.
Fine speech. We got about 14 talks in, all tonight. But the newest communications and marketing officer at Trinity College is none other than ex-pro librarian Gwen Reigns. Second composition speaker, Neve Hibbert, Continued Crisis Officer. Here we are. As this is the first time speaking in the chamber, you are also offered maiden's rights. Would you choose to accept them or to waive them?
Okay, so I really feel like my speech compared to everyone else's is going to go just how Elizabeth's thing went about me. Like, everyone had these really funny roasts, and then it was just like, oh, I mean, she's so nice. But anyway, my first point is in address to Andrew's point. Kanye will be running as an independent candidate in the 2020 election. The current forerunner independent candidates in the 2016 elections are 1, nobody cares. Nobody cares. 3, these nuts. This is a real shame because independent candidates are exactly what American youth are. But sadly, without the support of a political party, independent candidates can never stand a chance when competing against the Republican and Democrats. However, Kanye may not have a political party to support him, but he does have something else. Sick beats. And these sick beats have won him a vast and loyal fan base, eliminating the need for a party to get ahead. The United States needs a unique independent candidate, and who would be better for the job than our Lord and Savior, Kanye West. So, drawing on what you said about Kanye's Twitter, I find Kanye to be a really tactical man. He is the best tweeter of any past president or future presidential candidate. And why is that tactical? Because Kanye knows that social media consumes our daily lives. And so Kanye likes to keep up with us and get his manifesto across. With the use of Twitter, Kanye has already provided us with what I assume to be the main issue he'll be trying to straighten out during his presidency. He tweeted, "I love everybody. Only thing I don't like is taxes. Me and taxes go fight." So to all of you accusing him of not being politically orientated or concerned with actual world issues, I just proved you wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, I find that the opposition are being really selfish right now. All they care about is the well-being of the citizens of the USA and especially of the biggest country in the world. But whatever. I mean, can we just take a step back here and address the real issue of this debate? Kanye's feelings. Becoming president make and benefit Kanye. So why don't we consider how becoming president will benefit Kanye West? With the masterpiece that is The Life of Pablo, Kanye has now sadly but officially exhausted his entire bank of rap material. This new job will give him new inspiration for songs as he endeavors to run the world and engage with people issues. Just think of the hits. Including Run This Country, Oil Digger, All of the Right. Niggas in Afghanistan. Not forget the most important person in Kanye's life, Kanye. The most powerful man in the world might finally satisfy his insatiable ego. In fact, he might even say that he would be fulfilling his destiny. It would provide Kanye with more worthwhile celebrities to feud with instead of Taylor Swift. Kanye could climb the social ladder and begin rap battling and going head to head with political leaders like David Cameron or Michael Lee Higgins.
Point of information.
Yeah?
Surely if Kanye is rap battling against David Cameron, we all have to sit through David Cameron rapping. Do we want that in our society?
Interest in politics, I mean, would you rather sit through a speech or something like
Geez, you leave the table alone.
Okay, so Kanye's presidency would provide the struggling artists with a stable income because people now is in debt now. So you could finally overcome his crippling debt and provide for his young and struggling family. His current job just doesn't seem to be working for him. So it's time to just jump ship and start exploring new routes. And I mean, what better way to start exploring the world than actually like leading the world? So, and as well as this, his debt may also contribute to his ability to connect and identify with the less than wealthy American majority today, which could be like important or something, I don't know. So after examining this, we have to ask ourselves, why do we care so much about Kanye? And it's because he is the best human to ever inhabit the planet. Kanye is the absolute pinnacle of human achievement, the perfect specimen. We need to stop thinking about ourselves and start considering Kanye's feelings, because they're what matters at the end of the day. I hope you'll agree with me when I say that Yeezy 2020 will be an awesome campaign, and I hope you support the motion.
For a fine speech, we're guy in front of her would stop hitting on her, so wherever you are. So up next we have Whirly Heatley speaking.
I would like to waive them. Ladies and gentlemen of the University of Philosophical Society, Kanye West is like Harry Higgins. Except Harry Higgins is white as fuck. Could I just ask Harry Higgins to please stand up? Everyone, this is Harry Higgins. Self-proclaimed narcissist and proud judgmental prick. Kanye West's hobbies. No, I'm not talking objectifying. Kanye West's hobbies, okay, include like staring at himself in the mirror and wanking to home videos of his own onstage performances. Remind you of anyone? Now, usually in debates I have this issue about making assumptions without actually proving my points because I'm like low-key shit at debating. But like, don't worry about it, I have great boobs, can't have it all. One something I don't think I need to explain is that having anyone with any resemblance to Harry Higgins in the US presidency would be a problem. And thus, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you why Kanye West cannot be president of the USA. I mean, at least if it was Harry Higgins, we'd have a president who was so unbearably handsome. So that's my first point. And then before I move on, I'd just like to re-express the hilarity of a man as white as Hugh Fitzgibbon having stakes in this debate. Last night, Hotline Bling came on, and he was like, wait, this is Kanye-ola, right? This is... And then in response to No Church in the Wild, it was like, that's just noise, I don't know what it means. No one knows what it means, Hugh, but it's provocative. Let's be honest though, Kanye is a role model. Like the egotism, the blind self-belief, the creativity, the artistic genius. His whole existence is like a rebellion against the norm, against the status quo, against bigotry and like the haters. And we heard in the Kardashian debate a few weeks ago, like the importance of like just being you. And Kanye, now an extension of the Kardashian family, is also an extension of that. He's like, you do you. Kanye does Kanye, so you can do you and like I can do me. And like I love it. Like doing me is great. Just ask like anyone I've slept with.
I beg to differ.
The entire basis of my argument is that as phenomenal as Yeezy is, ladies and gentlemen, his place is not the White House. So let's examine why through examining the roles of the US president, okay? So like fiscal responsibility. We all know the US economy has had more ups and downs than a night out with Ciara O'Leary. The first point I want to address is whether or not Kanye would be able to deal with this. Now, like you, I'm not like into rap, but I can only go ahead and be a bigoted white fuck and assume his lyrics are full of mentions of like splashing out money on like boats and hoes and like gold chains, private jets, cool cars, and a whole manner of other symbols of debauchery, notions, etc. I mean, that being said, I don't doubt Kanye's ability to get creative in his fundraising techniques. Paraphrase, I think it's Aristotle or something. Ask not what you can do for your wife's sex tape, but ask what your wife's sex tape can do. I joke, Kanye would never exploit Kim in such a derogatory fashion. Like, he doesn't study ag science at UCB. And in any case, the Federal Reserve can just ask Mark Zuckerberg for $53 million.
foreign policy. Let's be real, okay? Kanye knows as much about foreign policy as like your average UCD commerce student from Blackrock, except that Kanye is like at least a little bit self-aware. Kanye, like, he loved Europe and he lived in Asia, so like he's probably actually way too cultured to be in charge of a collection of like Western biased, self-congratulating white Americans. I mean, if you don't think America is the center of the universe, you're probably not conceited enough to be the US president. Arrogant as Yeezy is, ladies and gentlemen, he's just not quite there. Maybe Harry Higgins is. So then race relations, okay? Like, I mean, I think the prop actually, I'd like to concede like a point for the prop here, like about the importance of like representation of like African Americans in politics. I mean, if the US had a black president, gun violence against young black men would totally go. Oh, sorry. But like, in regards to like national security, okay, I genuinely think it would be a threat to international security and like solidarity if Yeezy was in charge of the US. Like, I mean, if there's one country that totally epitomizes vanity and narcissism, it's this one. And with a leader as stubborn and self-flattering as Kanye, I mean, it would only propagate this issue. So like, can you imagine, like, look, Paris, I'm gonna let you finish, but 9/11 was one of the greatest terrorist attacks. Like, it's hardly an appropriate way to deal with international relations. So lastly, I just think it's like wildly inappropriate for us to start blending art and culture with the monotony of politics with all this like red tape and bullshit. The prop side might try to tell you that Kanye and Kim are going to come in and like make the political scene sexy again, or like get the young people to actually start giving a shit about the way the world works. But the stark reality is, ladies and gentlemen, is that politics is about as boring as Wednesday nights at the Hist. It's just not sexy. It's just not sexy and never will be. I mean, look how grey Obama's hair has gotten over the past 8 years for an indication of what that job does to you. You come out of it as a hardly recognizable shell of the person you once were, like Magaloo or a Thursday night in Palace. And we can't afford to let that happen to Yeezy. We can't afford to lose him. I mean, let's be real. His music is like kind of on the down.